The notification lit up her phone on the kitchen counter at 7:43 on a Tuesday morning. I was pouring my second cup of coffee when I saw it. The screen faced up, and the preview was right there. "Can't wait to see you tonight, baby. Tell Isaac you're working late again." I stood there with the coffee pot in my hand, watching the message fade to black, and something in my chest went completely still. My name is Isaac. I'm 38 years old. I've been married to Sarah for 11 years. And in that moment, staring at that phone screen with the smell of dark roast filling our kitchen and rain starting to tap against the windows, I made a decision that surprised even me. I wasn't going to say a word. Not yet. I was going to wait exactly 2 weeks, 14 days, 336 hours. I was going to watch, document, and prepare. And she was going to have absolutely no idea. I set the coffee pot back on the burner. My hand was steady. That surprised me too. Sarah came down the stairs 3 minutes later, hair still damp from the shower, wearing the blue blouse I'd bought her for her birthday. She smiled at me. That same smile I'd been looking at for over a decade. "Morning," she said, reaching for her phone. "Morning," I said back. My voice sounded normal. I handed her the travel mug I'd already prepared, the way I did every single morning. 2 sugars, splash of cream. She took it, kissed my cheek, and scrolled through her phone while sipping the coffee. I watched her read that message, watched her smile get a little wider, watched her type back something I couldn't see, her thumbs moving fast. "I might have to work late tonight," she said, not looking up. "Big project deadline coming up." "No problem," I said. "I'll grab something on the way home." She looked up then, and for just a second, I thought I saw something. Guilt, maybe, or relief that I'd made it so easy. Then she kissed me again, grabbed her bag, and headed for the garage. I heard the door open, heard her car start, heard the door close behind her. I stood in our kitchen for a long time after that. The rain was coming down harder now, that steady Pacific Northwest drizzle that turns everything gray. The house was quiet, except for the sound of water on the roof and the hum of the refrigerator. I looked at my own coffee cup, still half full, and realized my hands were shaking. I'm a financial analyst. I've spent 15 years of my career looking at numbers, finding patterns, building models that predict outcomes. I'm good at staying calm when things go wrong. I'm good at seeing 3 steps ahead. And standing there in my kitchen that Tuesday morning, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed information, I needed evidence, I needed a plan, and I needed to make sure Sarah didn't suspect a single thing. I pulled out my phone and opened a new note, titled it Timeline, wrote down the date, the time, and exactly what I'd seen. Then I went upstairs to our bedroom, opened her laptop, and started looking. It took me 20 minutes to find what I needed. She'd been careless. Or maybe she just never thought I'd look. Her email was still logged in. I found messages going back 5 months. 5 months of working late. 5 months of girls' weekends. 5 months of someone named Marcus telling my wife things that made my stomach turn. I took screenshots of everything, sent them to my personal email, deleted the sent messages, closed the laptop exactly how I'd found it. Then I went to work. The drive downtown was the same as always. Same route, same traffic, same coffee shop I stopped at on Wednesdays. Except it was Tuesday, and I stopped anyway. I sat in my car in the parking lot and called my brother. "Isaac?" David answered on the second ring. "You okay? You never called this early." "I need a lawyer recommendation," I said. "Divorce lawyer. Best one you know." There was a pause. "What happened?" "I'll tell you everything," I said. "But not yet. I need 2 weeks. Can you just trust me?" "Of course," he said. He didn't ask any more questions. That's the thing about David. He's always been able to read me. I'll text you a name in 10 minutes. Thanks, I said. Isaac, he said before I could hang up. Whatever you're doing, be smart. That's the plan, I said. I got the text 7 minutes later. Catherine Chen, family law specialist, 30 years of experience. I called her office from the parking lot, made an appointment for that afternoon, told my boss I had a doctor's appointment and left at 2. Catherine's office was downtown, 14th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows looking out at the gray sky and the Sound. She was in her 50s, sharp eyes, firm handshake. I sat across from her and laid out everything I'd found. She listened without interrupting, took notes. When I finished, she looked at me for a long moment. You want to wait 2 weeks before doing anything, she said. Yes. Why? Because I want to be ready, I said. I want every piece in place. I want to protect myself financially, legally, emotionally, and I want her to have no idea it's coming. Catherine nodded slowly. That's smart, she said. Most people confront immediately. They're emotional, unprepared. They make mistakes. She opened a folder. Here's what we're going to do. We spent 90 minutes going through everything. Asset protection, evidence gathering, timeline. She gave me a list of things to document, things to photograph, things to secure. She told me what to say and what not to say. She told me how to act normal while preparing for war. 2 weeks, she said as I was leaving. Then you come back here and we file. 2 weeks, I agreed. I drove home in rush hour traffic. The rain had stopped, but everything was still wet, reflecting the gray light. I thought about Sarah, about the last 11 years, about the house we'd bought together, the trips we'd taken, the life we'd built. I thought about Marcus, whoever he was. I thought about all those nights she'd come home late, smelling like wine and making excuses. And I thought about the next 14 days. I pulled into our driveway at 6:15. Her car wasn't there yet. I went inside, changed into comfortable clothes, and started making dinner. Pasta, her favorite. When she got home at 8:30, I had everything ready. You made dinner, she said, surprised. Figured you'd be hungry after working late, I said. She smiled, kissed me, sat down at the table. We ate together, talking about nothing important. She told me about her day, and I knew at least half of it was lies. I told her about mine, leaving out the lawyer and the plan and the screenshots sitting in my email. After dinner, we watched television. She fell asleep on the couch, her head on my shoulder. I looked down at her, this woman I'd loved for over a decade, and felt absolutely nothing. Day 1 was complete. 13 more to go. If you want to know how this plays out, how I kept my composure while watching my marriage crumble from the inside, hit that like button and subscribe. Because what happened over the next 2 weeks taught me more about patience, strategy, and self-control than anything else in my life. And by day 14, when I finally showed my hand, Sarah's world fell apart in ways she never saw coming. Day 2 started the same way day 1 ended. Coffee at 6:30, Sarah coming downstairs at 7, the same routine we'd followed for years. Except now I was watching everything through a different lens. She checked her phone 4 times during breakfast. Each time, her expression shifted just slightly. A small smile, a quick glance at me to see if I was paying attention. I kept my eyes on the newspaper, but I was counting. 4 times in 20 minutes. You seem distracted, I said, not looking up. Just work stuff, she said quickly. Lots going on. Anything I can help with? She laughed. Unless you've suddenly learned graphic design, probably not. I smiled back. Took another sip of coffee. The rain was lighter today, more mist than drops, clinging to the windows and making everything outside look soft and blurred. After she left, I went back upstairs, opened her laptop again. More messages. Marcus worked with her. That much was clear now. Marketing department, same floor. They'd been careful at first, but 5 months in, they'd gotten sloppy. There were messages about meeting in his car during lunch, about the hotel they'd gone to last month when she told me she was at a conference in Portland. I took more screenshots, added them to the folder I'd created. Then I did something that felt strange but necessary. I installed tracking software on her phone. It took 10 minutes and a YouTube tutorial. When she got home that night, her phone would tell me everywhere she went. I felt sick doing it. Not because of the invasion of privacy, but because I was realizing how much I'd trusted her, how much I'd never questioned, how easy it had been for her to lie. At work, I couldn't focus. I sat through 2 meetings and didn't hear a word. My colleague Jennifer asked if I was feeling okay. I told her I was fighting off a cold. She told me to go home early. I stayed until 5 anyway, because going home early would be different. And different was dangerous. Sarah got home at 6. On time, for once. She was in a good mood, humming while she changed clothes. We ordered takeout, Thai food, her choice. We ate on the couch and watched a cooking show she liked. She laughed at something the host said. I watched her laugh and wondered if Marcus made her laugh like that. "You're quiet tonight," she said during a commercial break. "Just tired," I said. "Long day." She squeezed my hand. "You work too hard." The irony was so thick I almost choked on it. Day 3 was harder. I woke up at 4 in the morning and couldn't fall back asleep. I lay there in the dark, listening to Sarah breathe beside me, and felt the weight of what I was doing settle over me like a blanket. 2 days down, 12 to go. Could I really do this for 12 more days? I got up, went downstairs, made coffee in the dark, stood at the kitchen window and watched the sky slowly turn from black to gray. The cedar trees in our backyard were dripping with moisture, and I could smell it even through the closed window. That wet, earthy smell that meant autumn was turning into winter. My phone buzzed. A text from Catherine, the lawyer. "How are you holding up?" "Day 3, I typed back. "Harder than I thought." "That's normal," she replied. "Stay the course. Document everything. Don't break." I made a list that morning. Sitting at the kitchen table with my coffee, I wrote down every account we had. Joint checking, joint savings, the investment account, the retirement funds. I wrote down every asset. The house, both cars, the furniture, the art Sarah had collected over the years. I wrote down every debt. The mortgage, my student loans, the credit card we'd used for the kitchen renovation. Then I started making calls. I called our bank and asked about the process for separating joint accounts. I called our investment advisor and asked hypothetical questions about dividing assets. I called the mortgage company and asked about refinancing options. I was careful. I never said I was getting divorced. I just asked questions. By noon, I had a clear picture. Catherine had been right. The more prepared I was, the better position I'd be in. That afternoon, I did something that felt like crossing a line. I hired a private investigator. His name was Robert, and Catherine had recommended him. We met at a coffee shop downtown, far from anywhere Sarah would be. Robert was in his 60s, gray hair, calm demeanor. He listened while I explained the situation, showed him the screenshots, gave him Marcus's name. "You want confirmation?" he said. "I want everything," I said. "Photos, timeline, locations. I want to know exactly what's been happening." "That'll take a few days," he said. "I have 12 days," I said. "That's plenty," he nodded. "You're handling this better than most people do." "I'm not handling it," I said. "I'm just postponing the breakdown." He smiled slightly. "Smart man." That evening, Sarah came home at 8. She'd texted me at 6 to say she was working late. The tracking app I'd installed told me she'd been at a restaurant downtown. The same restaurant where we'd celebrated our 5th anniversary. "How was work?" I asked when she walked in. "Exhausting," she said, dropping her bag by the door. "I'm going to take a shower." I watched her go upstairs, heard the water start, sat on the couch and stared at the wall. This was day 3. I'd made it through 72 hours of pretending everything was fine. 72 hours of smiling and cooking dinner and asking about her day while knowing she was lying to my face. 72 hours of sleeping next to someone who was betraying me. I picked up my coffee cup from the side table. It was empty, had been for hours, but I held it anyway. It was something to do with my hands, something normal. My phone buzzed. A text from David. "Checking in. You okay?" 3 days down, I typed. 11 to go. "You're stronger than I would be," he replied. I wasn't sure that was true. I wasn't sure this was strength. Maybe it was just stubbornness, or maybe it was fear. Fear that if I confronted her now, without everything in place, I'd lose more than just my marriage. Sarah came back downstairs in her pajamas, hair wet, smelling like the lavender shampoo she always used. She curled up next to me on the couch. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "Nothing important," I said. She kissed my cheek. "I love you." I looked at her, really looked at her, tried to see if there was any guilt there, any hesitation, any sign that she knew what she was doing to us. But all I saw was the same face I'd been looking at for 11 years. "I love you too," I said. And the terrible thing was, part of me still meant it. Day 3 was complete. The mask was holding. But I could feel the cracks starting to form, and I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep it together. Robert called me on day 4. I was at my desk, pretending to review a quarterly report, when my phone lit up with his number. "I've got something," he said. "Can you meet?" We met at the same coffee shop. He slid a manila envelope across the table. I opened it and felt my stomach drop. Photos. Sarah and Marcus in his car, parked in a lot behind her office building. The timestamps showed lunch hour, yesterday. More photos from 2 days ago. Them walking into a hotel in Bellevue, coming out 3 hours later. The hotel where she'd told me she was meeting a client. "There's more," Robert said quietly. "They've been meeting 2 to 3 times a week for the past 5 months. Always the same hotel, or his car, or late dinners at restaurants outside the city. They're careful, but not careful enough." I stared at the photos. In one of them, Sarah was laughing, her hand on Marcus's arm. She looked happy. Happier than I'd seen her in months. "You want me to keep going?" Robert asked. "Yes," I said. "Through day 14. I want a complete timeline." He nodded. "You're paying for thorough. You'll get thorough." I took the envelope home and hid it in my office, in a file cabinet Sarah never opened. Then I sat at my desk and added everything to my documentation. Dates, times, locations. The pattern was clear. Every Tuesday and Thursday she worked late. Every other Saturday she had brunch with friends. Except the friends were Marcus, and the brunch was a hotel room. That night, Sarah came home on time. She was in a good mood again, talking about a project at work, asking about my day. We made dinner together, pasta with marinara sauce. She chopped vegetables while I boiled water. We moved around the kitchen like we always had, a choreographed routine from years of practice. "I was thinking," she said, sliding chopped onions into the pan. "Maybe we should plan a trip. It's been a while since we went anywhere together." I looked at her. "Where were you thinking?" "I don't know. Somewhere warm. Mexico, maybe. Or Hawaii." She smiled. "We could use a break." "That sounds nice," I said. The words felt like glass in my mouth. I'll look at dates, she said. Maybe next month? Next month, I thought. Next month we'll be filing for divorce. Next month you'll know that I knew. Next month there won't be any trips. Sure, I said. Look at dates. Day 5, I met with Catherine again. Brought her the photos, the updated timeline, everything Robert had found. She went through it all methodically, making notes. This is solid, she said. More than enough for court if it comes to that. What about the finances? I asked. She pulled out a folder. I've drafted a preliminary asset division. Based on what you've told me, here's what I recommend. We spent an hour going through it. The house would likely be sold, assets split. My retirement account, her retirement account, both divided. The cars, the furniture, everything itemized and valued. It was clinical, mathematical. Our entire marriage reduced to a spreadsheet. You need to start moving money, Catherine said. Not hiding it, that's illegal, but protecting it. Open a separate account. Start depositing your paychecks there. Keep records of everything. I did it that afternoon. Walked into a different bank, opened a new checking account in my name only, set up direct deposit to start with my next paycheck. It felt like stealing from myself. Day 6 was a Saturday. Sarah slept in, and I made coffee alone. Stood at the kitchen window and watched the rain come down. It had been raining for 6 straight days now, that endless Pacific Northwest gray that seeps into everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah's sister, Emily. Lunch today? Haven't seen you guys in forever? I stared at the message. Emily didn't know. Nobody in Sarah's family knew, and I was about to blow up their world too. Let me check with Sarah, I typed back. Sarah came downstairs 20 minutes later. I showed her the text. Oh, I can't today, she said quickly. I have that brunch thing, remember? With the girls from work. The tracking app would tell me where she really was. Robert would probably have photos by Monday. I can go alone, I said. Catch up with Emily. Are you sure? She looked uncertain. Yeah, why not? So I had lunch with Emily while Sarah was with Marcus. We met at a bistro downtown, and Emily talked about her kids, her job, her husband, normal life, uncomplicated life. How's Sarah? She asked eventually. She's good, I said. Busy with work. You two seem really solid, Emily said. I always tell people your relationship goals. I smiled and changed the subject. That night, Sarah came home at 6. She was glowing, energized. She kissed me and asked about lunch with Emily. I told her it was nice. She told me about brunch with her co-workers. I listened to her lie and nodded in all the right places. Day 7 was Sunday. We went to the farmer's market in the morning, something we did most weekends. Walked through the stalls, bought vegetables and fresh bread and coffee beans. Sarah held my hand. People probably looked at us and saw a happy couple. I saw the tracking app data from yesterday, the hotel in Bellevue. 3.5 hours. You're quiet today, Sarah said as we walked back to the car. Just thinking about work, I said. It's Sunday. No work thoughts allowed. She squeezed my hand. Let's do something fun. Movie? Or we could drive out to the coast. Movie sounds good, I said. We saw some comedy she'd wanted to watch. I sat in the dark theater and didn't hear a single joke. Sarah laughed beside me, ate popcorn, leaned her head on my shoulder. I put my arm around her because that's what I always did. Halfway through the movie, her phone buzzed. She checked it quickly, smiled, typed something back. I saw the glow of the screen reflected in her eyes. 7 days. 1 week. Halfway through my timeline. I'd gathered evidence, hired a lawyer, opened a separate bank account, documented everything. I'd smiled and cooked dinner and held her hand and pretended that my world wasn't disintegrating. That night, lying in bed, Sarah asleep beside me, I stared at the ceiling and wondered if I was doing the right thing. Maybe I should just confront her now. Get it over with. Stop this slow torture of pretending. But then I thought about the photos, the timeline, the lies, the 5 months of betrayal. And I thought about walking into that confrontation unprepared, emotional, vulnerable. No, I'd made it 7 days. I could make it 7 more. The rain kept falling. The house was quiet. And I lay there in the dark, counting down the hours until day 8. Day 8 started with a name. Marcus Reeves. Robert sent me a full background report at 6 in the morning. I read it on my phone while Sarah slept upstairs. 34 years old, divorced 2 years ago. No kids. Marketing director at Sarah's company. He'd been there for 3 years, which meant Sarah had known him for 3 years and been sleeping with him for 5 months. But it was the photo that made everything worse. Robert had included a professional headshot, probably from the company website. I recognized him immediately. We'd met him. Sarah and I, 6 months ago at her company holiday party. He'd shaken my hand, told me Sarah was doing great work, asked about my job. We'd talked about football for 10 minutes while Sarah got drinks. I'd stood there and made small talk with the man who was sleeping with my wife, and I'd had no idea. I sat in the kitchen with my coffee and felt something shift inside me. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It was colder than that. More final. Sarah came downstairs at 7. "You're up early," she said. "Couldn't sleep," I said. She poured her coffee, and I watched her. Tried to see what Marcus saw. She was beautiful, I'd always thought so. 40 years old, but looked younger. Dark hair, green eyes, the kind of smile that made people trust her. "I was thinking," she said, sitting across from me. "We should have people over for dinner soon. It's been too long since we entertained." "Who were you thinking?" "Maybe some people from work. You could invite David and Jennifer." She sipped her coffee. "It would be fun." People from work. Would Marcus be on that list? Would she really be bold enough to invite him into our home, sit him at our table, serve him food while I sat there not knowing? Except now I did know. "Sure," I said. "Let's plan something." She smiled, reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I love that we still do this. Just sit and have coffee together. Some couples lose that." I looked at our hands, hers on top of mine. "Yeah," I said. "Some couples do." At work that day, I couldn't focus again. I pulled up Sarah's company website and found Marcus's profile, read his bio. Marketing director, specialized in digital strategy, MBA from University of Washington. There was a quote, "I believe in building authentic connections." The irony was suffocating. I called Robert. "I need to know more about him." "What kind of more?" "Everything. Where he lives, what he does, who he is." "That'll cost extra." "I don't care." By day 9, I had a complete picture. Marcus lived in a condo downtown, 15 minutes from the office. He went to the same gym Sarah had joined 3 months ago. He drove a Tesla, ate lunch at the same 3 restaurants, had a golden retriever named Cooper. And according to Robert's surveillance, he'd been with Sarah 4 times in the past week alone. 4 times. While I was at home, making dinner, watching television, sleeping in our bed, she'd been with him 4 times. I sat in my office at home and looked at the photos Robert had sent. Sarah and Marcus in the parking garage at work. Sarah and Marcus at a wine bar in Fremont. Sarah and Marcus walking his dog along the waterfront. In one photo, she was wearing the scarf I'd given her for Christmas. My phone rang. "Catherine." "How are you holding up?" she asked. "I found out who he is," I said. "We've met him." I shook his hand. There was a pause. That's harder, she said quietly. Is it? I don't know anymore. It's all hard. 6 more days, she said. You're almost there. What if I can't make it 6 more days? Then you confront her now, Catherine said. But you'll be less prepared. You'll be emotional. You'll make mistakes. Is that what you want? No, I said. Then you make it 6 more days. That night, Sarah suggested we watch a movie, some romantic comedy she'd been wanting to see. We sat on the couch, and I watched her watch the screen. She laughed at the jokes, got teary at the emotional parts, reached over and held my hand during the happy ending. I love you, she said when the credits rolled. I love you too, I said automatically. She looked at me, really looked at me. Are you okay? You've seemed off lately. My heart stopped. I'm fine, just work stress. You'd tell me if something was wrong, right? I met her eyes. Of course. She nodded, satisfied, kissed me and went upstairs to get ready for bed. I sat there in the dark living room and realized how good she was at this, how easily she lied, how naturally she played the concerned wife while texting another man, how she could look me in the eye and ask if something was wrong while she was the thing that was wrong. Day 10 was a Tuesday. Sarah worked late, of course. The tracking app showed the hotel in Bellevue again. I made myself dinner, ate alone at the kitchen table, and tried not to think about what she was doing. My brother called at 8. Just checking in, David said. 4 more days. 4 more days, I repeated. You sound tired. I am tired. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of sleeping next to someone who's destroying us. Then end it now. I can't. I'm too close. If I break now, it's all for nothing. It's not for nothing, David said. You're protecting yourself. You're being smart. But Isaac, you're also human. It's okay if this is too hard. It's not too hard, I said. It's just hard enough. Sarah came home at 10. She looked tired, her makeup slightly smudged. She kissed my cheek and said she was going to shower. I heard the water run for a long time. When she came to bed, she curled up next to me. Thank you for being patient with my schedule, she said. I know I've been working a lot lately. It's fine, I said into the darkness. Once this project is done, things will calm down. We'll have more time together. I'm looking forward to that, I said. She fell asleep quickly. I lay awake for hours, listening to her breathe, watching the shadows move across the ceiling. 10 days. 240 hours. I'd made it this far. The evidence was gathered. The lawyer was ready. The finances were protected. Everything was in place. 4 more days, and I could stop pretending. 4 more days, and Sarah would finally understand what she'd done. 4 more days, and this would all be over. Day 11, I started moving things out of the house. Not everything, just the things that mattered. The watch my grandfather left me. The photo albums from before Sarah. My important documents, birth certificate, passport, the deed to the car in my name. I packed them into boxes and drove them to a storage unit I'd rented across town. Sarah was at work. She'd never know they were gone. I stood in the storage unit, looking at the boxes stacked against the wall, and realized this was real. In 3 days, I was going to blow up my entire life. In 3 days, everything would change. My phone rang. Catherine. Final meeting tomorrow, she said. We'll go over everything one last time. Make sure you're ready. I'm ready, I said. Are you? I looked at the boxes. I have to be. That afternoon, I did something I'd been putting off. I told my parents. I drove to their house in Tacoma, an hour south. My mom answered the door, surprised to see me on a weekday. Isaac, is everything okay? Can we talk? I said. We sat in their living room, the same room where I'd told them I was going to propose to Sarah 12 years ago. My dad turned off the television. My mom sat forward, worried. I told them everything. The text message, the 2 weeks, the evidence, the plan. They listened without interrupting. When I finished, my mom had tears in her eyes. My dad's jaw was tight. "I'm sorry," my mom said. "I'm so sorry." "When are you going to tell her?" my dad asked. "Day 14, 3 days from now." He nodded slowly. "You need anything, you call us. You need a place to stay, you come here." "I have an apartment lined up," I said. "I sign the lease tomorrow." "You've thought of everything," my mom said. "I tried to." She hugged me before I left, held on longer than usual. "You're stronger than you think," she whispered. I drove back to Seattle in rush hour traffic, the sky already dark at 5:30. Winter was coming. Everything was getting darker, colder. Sarah was home when I got there. She'd made dinner, pasta again. We seemed to eat a lot of pasta lately. "Where were you?" she asked. "Went to see my parents." "How are they?" "Good. They asked about you." She smiled. "We should have them over soon." Soon. There wasn't going to be a soon. Not for us. Day 12, I met with Catherine one last time. She had the divorce papers ready. All I had to do was sign them, and she'd file them the day after I confronted Sarah. "You're sure about the timing?" she asked. "I want to tell her first," I said, "face to face. Then you file the next morning." "That's risky. She could try to move money, hide assets." "I've already protected everything I can, and I want her to hear it from me first, not from a process server." Catherine nodded. "Okay. But the moment you tell her, you call me. I'll have everything ready to file first thing the next morning." I signed the papers. My signature looked shaky. After the meeting, I went to see the apartment I'd rented. 1 bedroom, downtown, furnished. It was small, impersonal, nothing like the house Sarah and I had built together. But it was mine. Just mine. I signed that lease too. Then I went to the storage unit and added more boxes. My clothes, my books, my laptop. Everything I'd need to start over. By the time I was done, half my life was in that 10 by 10 room. That evening, I came home to find Sarah in the kitchen, on the phone. She was laughing, her voice light and happy. When she saw me, she said a quick goodbye and hung up. "Who was that?" I asked. "Just a friend from work," she said easily. "Marcus." It was Marcus. I knew her voice when she talked to him now. I'd heard it enough times through the tracking app, through Robert's recordings. "I was thinking," she said, putting her phone down. "This weekend, let's do something special. Just us. Maybe drive up to the San Juans, get a bed and breakfast." This weekend. Day 14 was in 2 days. By this weekend, she'd know everything. "That sounds nice," I said. "I feel like we've been distant lately," she said, stepping closer. "I want to reconnect." She put her arms around me. I stood there, feeling nothing. "Me too," I said. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I got up at 2 in the morning and went downstairs. Made coffee even though it was the middle of the night. Sat at the kitchen table in the dark. My phone lit up. A text from David. "You okay?" "Can't sleep," I typed back. 2 more days. 2 more days. "You've got this," he wrote. "You've come this far? Don't break now." I looked around the kitchen. The coffee maker Sarah and I had picked out together. The table we'd bought at an estate sale. The art on the walls, the dishes in the cabinets, the life we'd built over 11 years. In 2 days, I was going to dismantle all of it. Sarah came downstairs at 3. "Isaac, what are you doing up?" "Couldn't sleep," I said. She sat down across from me. "You've been off for weeks now. Please talk to me. What's going on?" I looked at her in the dim light from the street lamp outside. This was it. This was the moment I could end it early. Tell her everything right now. Get it over with. But I'd come this far. 12 days. 288 hours. I'd documented everything, prepared everything, protected everything. 2 more days, and I'd be completely ready. Just work stress, I said. Big project wrapping up. She reached across the table and took my hand. When it's done, let's take that trip. Get away from everything. Okay, I said. She went back to bed. I sat in the kitchen until the sky started to turn gray, watched the rain begin again, drops sliding down the window. Day 12 was complete. Everything was in place. The lawyer was ready. The apartment was rented. My things were in storage. My family knew. The evidence was documented. 2 more days of pretending. 2 more days of lying next to her at night. 2 more days. And then I'd finally tell Sarah that I knew. And her world would fall apart. Day 13 felt different. Maybe because I knew it was the last full day of pretending. Maybe because I could see the finish line. Or maybe because I was just too exhausted to feel anything anymore. I woke up before the alarm. Sarah was still asleep, her back to me. I watched her for a minute, trying to remember what it felt like to love her without this weight. I couldn't. Downstairs, I made coffee. The routine was so automatic now I barely thought about it. 2 cups, hers with sugar and cream, mine black. I stood at the window and watched the rain. It had been raining for 13 straight days. The yard was saturated, puddles everywhere, the cedar trees heavy with water. Tomorrow, I'd tell her. Tomorrow, everything would change. But today was still day 13. 1 more day of the mask. Sarah came down at 7, same as always. She was wearing the blue dress she saved for important meetings. Big day? I asked, handing her the coffee. Presentation to the executive team, she said. I've been preparing for weeks. I wondered if Marcus helped her prepare, if they'd practiced together, if that's what they called it. You'll do great, I said. She kissed me. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you. The words hung in the air after she left. Tomorrow she'd find out. I went to work but took the afternoon off. Told my boss I had personal business to handle. He didn't ask questions. I'd been with the company for 12 years. I had the credibility to take an afternoon. I drove to the storage unit and did a final inventory. Everything was there. Everything I needed to start over. I sat in my car in the parking lot and called Robert. Last update, I said. Anything new? They met for lunch yesterday, he said. Same restaurant downtown. I've got photos. Want me to send them? No, I said. I have enough. You're doing this tomorrow? Tomorrow. Good luck, Robert said. For what it's worth, you handled this better than 90% of people would. Doesn't feel like it, I said. I drove around for a while after that. No destination, just driving. Through downtown, along the waterfront, up into the hills where you could see the whole city spread out below. The sky was gray, the water was gray, everything was gray. I thought about the last 11 years. Meeting Sarah at a friend's party, our first date at a Thai restaurant in Capitol Hill, the way she laughed at my jokes, the trip to Portland where I knew I was going to marry her, the proposal on the beach at sunset, the wedding, small and perfect, buying the house, talking about kids someday, building a life. When had it gone wrong? When had she decided I wasn't enough? Or had I never been enough, and it just took her 5 years to realize it? I drove home at 4. Sarah's car was already in the driveway. She was home early. I found her in the living room, still in her work dress, shoes off, feet tucked under her on the couch. She looked tired. How'd the presentation go? I asked, Really well, she said. They approved the whole campaign. That's great. Yeah. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I'm exhausted, though. I sat down next to her. You've been working hard. Too hard, maybe. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I feel like I've been neglecting us. The irony was so sharp, it hurt. We're okay, I said. Are we? She looked up at me. Be honest, are we okay? This was the moment. I could tell her right now, end it a day early, get it over with. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the exhaustion in her eyes. Maybe it was the fact that I'd planned for day 14, and I wanted to stick to the plan. Or maybe I just wanted one more night to prepare myself for what was coming. We're okay, I said. She nodded and closed her eyes. Good. Because I love you. I know I don't say it enough lately, but I do. I sat there with her head on my shoulder and said nothing. We ordered pizza for dinner, sat at the kitchen table and ate in comfortable silence. She told me about her presentation, the questions the executives asked, how relieved she was that it went well. I listened and nodded and asked follow-up questions. I was good at this now. The pretending, the acting. 2 weeks of practice had made me an expert. After dinner, she suggested we watch something. We scrolled through options and landed on a documentary about national parks. We sat on the couch, her curled up next to me, and watched mountains and forests and rivers. We should go camping this summer, she said during a scene of Yellowstone. We haven't done that in years. This summer. There wasn't going to be a this summer, not for us. That would be nice, I said. Around 9, her phone buzzed. She checked it, smiled slightly, typed something back. I didn't ask who it was. I already knew. I'm going to take a bath, she said, standing up. Long day. Okay. She paused at the doorway. You coming to bed soon? In a bit. I sat alone in the living room after she went upstairs, heard the water running, heard her moving around in the bathroom. The house settled around me, all the familiar sounds of a life I'd built. Tomorrow, I'd dismantle it. My phone buzzed. Catherine, tomorrow's the day. You ready? As ready as I'll ever be, I typed back. Call me right after. I'll file the papers immediately. I will. Isaac, she wrote, you're doing the right thing. I stared at that message for a long time. Was I? Or was I just doing the thing that hurt less than the alternative? I went upstairs at 10. Sarah was already in bed, reading a book. She looked up when I came in. You okay? She asked. Yeah, just thinking. About what? Tomorrow, I said. Which was true. She put her book down. Come here. I got into bed. She turned off the light and moved closer, her head on my chest. This was how we'd slept for 11 years. Her on my chest, my arm around her, her hand over my heart. I love you, she said into the darkness. I looked at the ceiling, at the shadows, at nothing. I love you too, I said. She fell asleep quickly. I felt her breathing slow, felt her body relax. I lay there awake, counting the hours until morning. Day 13 was complete. The last day of pretending. The last day of the mask. The last day of our marriage as she knew it. Tomorrow, I'd tell her everything. Tomorrow, she'd finally understand what she'd done. Tomorrow, it would all be over. I didn't sleep at all that night. Day 14. The last day. I got up at 5:30. Sarah was still asleep. I went downstairs, made coffee, and sat at the kitchen table in the dark. My hands were shaking. After 13 days of perfect control, my hands were finally shaking. I'd planned this moment for 2 weeks. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I had the evidence ready. I had the lawyer on standby. I had everything prepared. But sitting there in the dark, I realized I wasn't ready. You can't be ready for this. You can prepare, but you can't be ready. Sarah came down at 7. She looked surprised to see me already dressed. "You're up early," she said. "We need to talk," I said. Something in my voice made her stop. "Okay, what's wrong?" "Sit down." She sat across from me, coffee forgotten. "Isaac, you're scaring me." I pulled out my phone, opened the folder with all the screenshots, all the photos, all the evidence. 2 weeks of documentation. I slid the phone across the table. "I know about Marcus," I said. The color drained from her face. She picked up the phone with shaking hands, scrolled through the images. I watched her see it all, the text messages, the hotel photos, the timeline, everything. "Isaac," she whispered. "I've known for 2 weeks," I said. My voice was calm, steady. "Since the morning of October 15th. You left your phone on the counter. I saw the message." 2 weeks? She looked up at me, and I saw the moment she understood. "You've known for 2 weeks and didn't say anything?" I wanted to be prepared. Prepared for what? I pulled out a folder, set it on the table between us. "Divorce papers. My lawyer will file them this morning. I've already moved my things out. I've separated our finances. I've documented everything. The affair, the lies, all of it." She stared at the folder like it was a bomb. "Isaac, please, let me explain." "Explain what? That you've been sleeping with Marcus for 5 months? That you've been lying to me every single day? That you've been planning trips with me while texting him?" My voice was still calm, but I could feel something cracking underneath. "What exactly do you want to explain?" "It's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think. I have photos, Sarah. I have a timeline. I know every time you met him, every lie you told me, every night you came home late. I know everything." She started crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything." 5 months isn't a mistake. 5 months is a choice you made every single day. "I love you," she said desperately. "I love you, Isaac. This thing with Marcus, it was just, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't real. You're real. We're real." I looked at her crying across the table and felt nothing. 2 weeks ago, this would have destroyed me, but I'd had 2 weeks to process, 2 weeks to grieve, 2 weeks to let go. "I don't believe you," I said. "Please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll end it with Marcus. I'll do whatever you want. I don't want anything from you anymore." She reached across the table for my hand. I pulled away. "Isaac, please. 11 years. We've been together for 11 years. That has to mean something." "It did mean something," I said. "And then you destroyed it. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Every time you texted him, every time you met him, every time you lied to my face, those were choices." She was sobbing now. "What about the trip we were planning? What about the life we built?" "There is no trip. There is no life. Not anymore." "So that's it? You're just done, after everything?" "I've been done for 2 weeks," I said. "I just needed time to prepare." She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "You're cold. I've never seen you like this. You've never given me a reason to be like this. What happens now?" I stood up. "Now you sign the papers. My lawyer will contact you today. I've already moved out most of my things. I'll be back this weekend for the rest. I'm staying at an apartment downtown." "You already have an apartment?" "I told you. I've been preparing." She stood up too, frantic now. "You can't just leave. This is our house, our life." "The house will be sold. The assets will be divided. It's all in the papers." "I won't sign them." "Then we'll go to court, and I'll present all the evidence, every text message, every photo, every lie. Is that what you want?" She stared at me, tears streaming down her face. "I can't believe you're doing this." "I can't believe you did this," I said. "But here we are." I picked up my keys. I had one bag left, sitting by the door. Everything else was already gone. "Wait," she said. "Just wait. Can we at least talk about this?" "We just did." "Isaac, please, don't leave like this." I looked at her one last time. This woman I'd loved for 11 years. This woman I'd built a life with. This woman who'd destroyed everything. "Goodbye, Sarah," I said. I walked out the door, got in my car, drove away from the house, from the life, from everything. My phone rang before I'd gone 2 blocks. Catherine. "It's done," I said. "How are you?" "I don't know yet. I'm filing the papers now. She'll be served by this afternoon." "Okay." "Isaac," Catherine said gently, "you did the right thing." I hung up and kept driving. The rain had finally stopped. After 14 straight days, the sky was clearing. I could see patches of blue between the clouds. I drove to my new apartment, walked into the empty space, sat on the couch that wasn't mine, in the apartment that wasn't home, and finally let myself feel it. The grief, the anger, the betrayal, the loss, all of it crashing over me at once. I'd held it together for 14 days, 336 hours. I'd been calm, strategic, prepared. I'd done everything right. And now, sitting alone in this empty apartment, I finally broke. I cried for the marriage I'd lost, for the woman I'd loved, for the life we'd built and the future we'd never have. I cried for the trust that was gone and the innocence I'd never get back. I cried until I had nothing left. And then, slowly, I started to breathe again. Day 14 was complete. The confrontation was done. The papers were filed. The marriage was over. I'd stayed calm for 2 weeks. I'd watched it all fall apart while she suspected nothing. And now, finally, I could start to heal. The first week after day 14 was the hardest. I went to work, came home to the empty apartment, ordered takeout because I couldn't bring myself to cook, sat on the couch and stared at the wall. My brother called every day. My parents drove up twice. Catherine sent updates about the divorce proceedings. Sarah tried to call me 47 times in the first 3 days. I didn't answer. She sent texts, long paragraphs about how sorry she was, how she'd made a terrible mistake, how we could fix this. I didn't respond. On day 4, she showed up at my office. Security escorted her out. Catherine sent a cease and contact letter the next day. The divorce moved forward. Sarah tried to fight it at first, wanted to contest the asset division, claimed I'd hidden money. But I had documentation for everything. Every account, every transaction, every dollar. Catherine had made sure of that. After 2 weeks, Sarah's lawyer advised her to settle. We never spoke again after that morning in the kitchen. The house sold in 6 weeks. We split the proceeds exactly down the middle. I signed the papers at Catherine's office. Sarah signed them at her lawyer's office. We never had to be in the same room. By December, it was final. 11 years of marriage, dissolved in 8 weeks. I spent Christmas with my parents. My mom made too much food. My dad and I watched football. Nobody mentioned Sarah. It was quiet, peaceful, and desperately sad. But something was shifting. Slowly, like ice melting, I could feel something changing inside me. In January, I started running. Every morning at 6, I'd put on shoes and run along the waterfront. 3 miles at first, then 5, then 7. I ran until my legs burned and my lungs ached, and I couldn't think about anything except putting one foot in front of the other. I ran past the restaurant where Sarah and I had our first date, past the park where I'd proposed, past the coffee shop we'd gone to every Sunday morning. I ran past all of it, and slowly, it started to hurt less. In February, I reconnected with old friends. People I'd lost touch with over the years. People who'd drifted away during the marriage. We met for drinks, for dinner, for basketball games. They didn't ask about Sarah. They just welcomed me back. One night, sitting at a bar with 3 guys I'd known since college, I realized I was laughing. Really laughing. Not the polite laugh I'd perfected during those 2 weeks. And it felt good. "It's good to have you back," my friend Tom said. "It's good to be back," I said. And I meant it. In March, I got a promotion at work. The project I'd been working on, the one I'd barely been able to focus on during those 2 weeks, had been a success. My boss called me into his office and offered me a senior analyst position. More responsibility, better pay, a corner office with a view of the Sound. "You've been doing exceptional work," he said. "Whatever you've been going through, you've handled it with real professionalism." If he only knew. I took the promotion, moved into the new office, bought a plant for the windowsill, started building something new. In April, 6 months after day 14, I moved out of the temporary apartment and into a condo I bought myself. 2 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of the water. It was mine. Just mine. No shared history, no memories, no ghosts. I furnished it slowly. A couch I actually liked, not one we'd compromised on. Art that I chose. A coffee maker that made coffee exactly how I wanted it. Every decision was mine alone, and that felt powerful. I started having people over. Dinner parties, game nights, Sunday morning coffee with friends. I filled the space with laughter and conversation and life. My life? One Saturday morning in May, I was making coffee in my kitchen, looking out at the water, and I realized something. I was happy. Not pretending to be happy. Not going through the motions, actually genuinely happy. The betrayal still hurt. Probably always would. There were still nights I lay awake and wondered what I could have done differently. Still moments when I saw a couple holding hands and felt that familiar ache. But I'd survived. More than survived. I'd protected myself, prepared myself, and come out the other side stronger. I thought about those 2 weeks sometimes, about the control it took to stay silent, about the discipline to prepare while pretending everything was fine, about the strength to walk away when I was finally ready. People asked me sometimes how I did it, how I stayed calm, how I didn't explode. The truth was, I had to. If I'd confronted Sarah that first morning, emotional and unprepared, I would have lost more than my marriage. I would have lost my stability, my security, my sense of control. The 2 weeks weren't about revenge. They were about survival. In June, almost 8 months after day 14, I ran into someone from Sarah's office. Not Marcus, thank God, but someone who knew both of us. "I heard about you and Sarah," she said carefully. "I'm sorry." "Thank you," I said. "For what it's worth," she said. "Everyone at the office was shocked. About her and Marcus. Nobody saw it coming." "Neither did I said. "Until I did." She hesitated. "They're not together anymore, you know. It fell apart pretty quickly after everything came out." I nodded. I didn't ask for details. Didn't want them. That part of my life was over. "You look good," she said. "Happy." "I am," I said. And I realized it was true. I kept running, kept working, kept building this new life. I dated a little, nothing serious. Traveled to places Sarah had never wanted to go. Took up photography. Learned to cook properly. Filled my days with things that made me feel alive. One morning in late summer, almost a year after day 14, I was making coffee in my kitchen. The sun was coming through the windows, bright and warm. I poured a cup, black, no sugar, no cream, just how I liked it. I stood at the window and looked out at the water, at the boats, at the city waking up. And I thought about that morning a year ago. The notification on Sarah's phone. The decision I'd made. The 2 weeks that followed. I'd stayed calm when everything inside me wanted to scream. I'd stayed silent when I wanted to confront. I'd stayed strategic when I wanted to be emotional. And it had saved me. Not just financially or legally, though it had done that too. It had saved me emotionally. It had given me control when everything else was chaos. It had let me grieve on my own terms, prepare on my own timeline, and walk away with my dignity intact. Sarah had taken a lot from me. My trust, my marriage, my sense of security. But because I'd waited, because I'd prepared, because I'd stayed calm for those 2 weeks, she hadn't taken everything. I still had myself. And that was enough. I took a sip of coffee. It was good. Better than it had ever been. My phone buzzed. A text from Tom. "Hiking this weekend?" "Absolutely," I typed back. I looked around my kitchen, my home, my life. It wasn't the life I'd planned. It wasn't the future I'd imagined. But it was mine, built from the ground up. And it was good. The rain started outside, light drops on the window. But inside, everything was warm and bright. I'd survived the storm. And on the other side, I'd found something I didn't expect. I'd found myself. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to stay strong when everything was falling apart, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your story. Hit that like button if you made it this far. Subscribe because I share real stories about real struggles. And maybe your story could help someone else who's going through the same thing. Share this with someone who needs to hear that they can survive betrayal, that they can come out stronger, that staying calm and strategic isn't cold, it's survival. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is wait until you're ready. And when you finally make your move, you make it count.